It's the
wonder.
same scheduled, yeah. So
I
now it's the
haven't.
stream is
Oh,
live.
we have not been live all this while. Oh my goodness! I hope people did try to join in. Yeah, so it is. We're now live. And the power of asking for help. Okay. So can you see where? Yeah. So we're now live. Amazing. See where? Yeah. So we're now live. Amazing. Okay. So I was trying to check. I'm gonna turn it off. Trying to check from my YouTube if we're live. So let me show what I would think I've already done it. Okay, sure. Yes. So this is what I meant. So I've done it, and we can start now. Mojisola, over to you. You can moderate, please.
Okay. So do we start or do we
Yes.
give it a few minutes? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight on our live. Thank you for being with us even after we've had to push to a later date. We're glad that we are able to have this live this evening, and we are hoping to have a lovely conversation. One that we believe that all moms and dads would be taking a lot of insight from. So tonight we're just going to be talking about what is mom guilt and the power of asking help. And then we're going to be having Mrs. Edidiong, who is a perinatal mental health coach and one of our moms from our wonderful MIKEDCARES community, Mrs. Olabisi, who's also going to be interacting. We're going to choose some questions with guest our guest mom, and also from you all our moms within the community. So we expect that even throughout the live event, that you are posting your questions, you're posting your responses even to the conversation that is happening, so that you're able to get clarity. And then we are hoping that it's going to be a wonderful event this evening. So if Mrs. Edidiong and Mrs. Olabisi are ready, I'm going to hand over to you, Mrs. Edidiong. And yes, ma'am, you can take it away.
Okay. Thank you, Mojisola. Thank you for hosting this evening, and thank you for planning this. And finally, we've come through. I'm so excited. I mean, we should celebrate ourselves because the resilience that we've pulled through to bring this together is worth emulating. I'm grateful that we were able to pull it through eventually. So, Labisi, I wanted to first appreciate you for creating time to do this. We're not going to be here for so long. I think if we can do between half an hour to about 45 minutes, that would be amazing. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about, but I'm going to try as much as possible not to delay us because obviously there's so much to talk about. But just before we start, I'm just going to put a foundation on about who we are and why these conversations are important. So, MIKEDCARES, which is a perinatal mental health care company for Nigerians and African mothers and families, we provide mental health care services like, therapy, peer support communities, where we provide mothers and new mothers, obviously fathers too, generally like an holistic approach to providing people with access to the right information for the parenting period and for the at least the first 2 years of a child's life, or the fact that they are going into a transitioning season of their lives to parent. It can seem like, oh, you know what to do, but sometimes it requires a little bit more. It requires skills, it requires a sense of support, it requires you hearing from another person's story. I mean, giving people an opportunity to be a part of that kind of community, or that be a part of something that they can benefit or learn from, or giving people the opportunity to access resources in books, in through our posts on social media. I think it's a powerful tool that can transform people's parenting experiences. I think it's also a powerful tool that can transform support services for women, because all of these that we're doing started solely because of what we think that women should be accessing. We think that women should be able to access easily information about their pregnancy period, their postpartum period, and obviously, if they ever find challenges about their mental health, they should also be able to access care. And since we're Nigerians, I don't think mental health care for women during pregnancy and postpartum is a big thing, and obviously, it's not being identified because there are no like data or research in that regard. And obviously, Mikhail is proud to say that we've done those researches in the levels that we could, and we're able to gather data to decipher that these problems are real, and that's why we're persistently doing it, regardless of the hassles of pulling this through, because we realize that there is a problem. Obviously, you don't want to come and chant something that there is no problem. So there is a problem, and we are bent on solving it. We're bent on being the bridge. We're bent on being the hope. We're bent on being a source of care and support and hope for parents, for new moms. And we don't ever want a mom to wonder, oh, how am I going to do this thing? I want them for us, we want them to be able to think at the top of their head when they start having concerns, to think of, oh, there's a peer support community that I know. Oh, there's a book on so and so. Oh, I heard this person talk about this on social media. So we are working hard to make our reach easy, and increase our reach through the work that we do. And as much as we can, we might not be able to reach the world, but we will touch one mom at a time. And even if it's going to be 10 moms for the whole of the existence of MIKEDCARES here on earth, I mean, that would be have made a huge difference for the world at large. So today we're going to be sharing the we're going to be talking about mom's guilt, if there's anything like that. And obviously we're going to be chatting with a mom, and we're going to also ask her a couple of questions about her experience as a mom, and then we'll take it from there. So, Olabisi, what would you have me call you? Is it BC? Is BC okay?
Olabisi is fine.
Oh, okay. So, did you ever experience anything like mom guilt? Obviously, let me say what mom guilt is. Mom guilt is that feeling of I'm not good enough as a mom, or would I ever make a good mom? I mean, I don't think there's anybody who has never, like any mom who has not really, really had that. I don't think, no matter how prepared you are, no matter how much of a support system that you've received, that thought will creep in one time or the other. Like it would just pass. Like, are you sure I'm going to make, even when you're intentional, you're like, are you sure I'm going to make a good mom? Are you sure I'm good enough? Are you sure I'm worthy? Because obviously the idea of being a mother, right, is that you have to be perfect. That kind of a thing. Mothers, and the way our parents portrayed themselves to be perfect parents, the mindset that's been placed in you is that, oh, you've got to, get it all right. And so sometimes you start feeling that guilt, if you are going to be perfect, if you are going to be able to be that mother that you wanted, that kind of a thing to your child. So have you ever experienced something like that in your motherhood journey? You want to share with us if you have?
Thank you. I'm so grateful for the opportunity
You're
given to
welcome,
me.
and we're grateful to have you.
She's a privilege. She's not a right. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that. So when we are talking about mom guilt, you know, when you are feel, feeling sad or having this anxiety within you are not working meeting your expectation towards your children.
Yeah.
For example, when you have a constant voice in your head saying, "Am I having enough time with these kids? Am I having enough time with these kids? Not that am I providing best for them? You know,
Yeah.
as a leaving my 6 month old in the
Yeah.
hands or in a daycare to go to office, and as soon as you leave and the baby starts crying, you know that feeling will come up, and I'll start thinking, should should I stay at home taking care of this child, or am I doing the right thing? But I don't have choice. I have to go to work. That
Yeah.
is, hey, I soak you in the blood of Jesus. Nothing will happen to you. I don't have choice.
Jesus. That's
normal.
funny.
It's normal. It's
Yeah.
normal. Many mother experience, but we should just try and do our best.
So I kind of agree with you about all of those things. And I mean, let me share a story that happened. I think it was during COVID, either COVID or immediately after COVID. So there was this mother who put her child in. It was a story that was flying around, and I don't have the full details, but I did comment about it because it was heartbreaking for people to troll her because of that. So she put her baby in a daycare, and by the time she went back to pick up her baby, she went to work. By the time she went back to pick up her baby, the baby was dead. It's the most disheartening thing ever, and I don't pray for anyone, even my worst enemy, to ever experience that because it's so heartbreaking. So people now start trolling her that why would you take your infant to a daycare? This of you to go and find. They say come and join network marketing. You say you're not joining to so that you have time freedom. I'm like, this is not a time to shame a mother. Like the shame culture is such a thing that people are so big on shaming. That's why it's easy for mothers to feel guilty.
Hmm.
It's very easy because even when you're not shaming yourself, it takes a lot of intentionality and confidence for you not to feel the shame that comes from the outside world. It comes from the people around you. I mean, you can have a different parenting style for your child because it works for you, but you still find yourself feeling guilty because someone is there telling you that you're not doing it right enough. Do you get? And it might be subtle, and it might be like it's not a thing, but it does affect the way you parent your child. It does affect the way you interpret your experience with that child. And sometimes, if you're not confident about what you are able to bring to the table in terms of your parenting, your child can tell. And confidence is a big deal when it has to do with parenting. You must go into parenting with confidence. You must go into parenting with an intentional mind. I mean, we're not going to be perfect, but obviously having an idea that, look, I'm not a perfect human being. It's okay for me to want to parent in my own parenting style because this works for me. I mean, I'm a big believer to saying, look, as parents, we must decide for us what success means. And I always say this, it's not just about parenting alone, it's even about as individuals, as ourselves. Obviously, success for people means different thing. And if you don't define what success means, the world will define it for you. If you don't define what you want your parenting culture to look like, as long as it's healthy, safe, works for you, works for your child, it brings your child to that place of experiencing a healthy you know childhood and all of those. As long as all of those things is done based on access to knowledge, access to the fact that, look, I've got this and I'm going to leverage on the knowledge I've got to get it done regardless of what the outside world is saying, right? So for you as a parent, for people as parents, you must define what success is. What is success in parenting for me? I can success in parenting for you can mean that, you look, this Saturday we're not cooking akara, we're going to order food. If you can afford it, I'm just giving you an instance. Just because you had a long Friday and you got home from work at about 10 and you're not able to wake up till, like, let's say 12. I mean, if you have an understanding, partner or something, and you guys can just say, you know what, babe, let's just chill today in bed, and it is still success that we did not cook akara and moi moi. An average African home is known for akara on Saturdays, that kind of a thing, or moi moi, or some special dish on Saturday, because that's when we have enough time. But look, if Saturday is going to be that, look, we're ordering in food today, you know, don't feel bad about it. I mean, don't bite yourself up, because mom guilt can be found everywhere. It is you telling yourself based on your experiences and your construct, your societal construct that has been there. Even sometimes you might not even be thinking about it. It's just like when during COVID, when it was trending that a lot of COVID, people had a lot of time on their hands, and also things were coming out, flying up and down from here and there. And people started talking about abuse and all of those, and a lot of people came out and said they've been abused before. So people that you never had thought that they've ever been abused also said it. And even you yourself, you're not like, true. That means this thing they did to me was also abuse. So, the truth is sometimes you are going on with your normal life and you don't even understand the power of what the outside world can make you realize, right? You're just going on doing your thing. That's why you have to be careful with your channels, your receiving channels, your eyes, your obviously what you smell, your ear, whatever it is that comes in. You have to be careful because it might look like it doesn't really harm you, but your brain or your mind, let me put it that way, your subconscious mind, because obviously we've got the conscious and the subconscious mind, doesn't really understand the difference between right or wrong. So whatever it receives, it keeps it. And one day you just find yourself saying something, that is kind of not you, and you'd be like, wait, where is that coming from? Your subconscious mind must have picked it up from somewhere. And that's the power of not letting the noise from the world just come in and then sit, and then before you know it, soak ourselves in it, and before you know it, we start feeling guilty. So yes, that's what I just wanted to reaffirm from what you've said. So now we're going to just, obviously we've made a foundation of about what mom guilt is, right? And we have also talked about different other parts of what how to deal with mom guilt, defining success for yourself, and also, understanding that no matter how much you want to be perfect as a mother, perfection in parenting and motherhood is not really like a thing. It's not a thing because you make mistakes. No 2 days are the same. It's challenging, right? No 2 days are the same. You look at people, I mean, I was just going through my friend's status this evening, and I saw that her sister-in-law had put to birth triplets. I mean, if you see the babies, they're so beautiful. I was so in love. I was like, Jesus, my ovaries, I want, and I was amazed that sometimes some mothers are so good at making this thing look like it's easy, but having triplets is not beans. Nobody will even having one child is not beans. But if you look at the pictures, the kids look so well fed, well taken care of, and it looks perfect. But it's not. Actually, it's not. So what am I saying? There's nothing like that. And so soaking yourself in a place of guilt is also a challenge. Moji, can I pause and ask you to reshare the link for people in the community again? Just reshare it. Just let them know that we are live, even though some of them would watch the replay. All right, is that okay? So I'm going to ask you a question. Obviously, it's going to be regarding your experience with us at MIKEDCARES support community. So can you share your personal experience with mom guilt and how you worked through it? Obviously, you've already shared it where you talked about, having to leave your child and go to work and all. But obviously, do you have something to share in terms of your experience being a part of MIKEDCARES, with personally, like how you had dealt with that mom guilt and how being a part of the community helped you deal with that?
Thank you, ma. Thank you very much. In
Mm.
addition to what yeah, in addition to what you said earlier, there is no how you will leave your child where you are not. Your mind will be there.
Yeah.
Except you are not a mother. Your mind will be there. No matter whether they're taking care of the child or not, your mind will be there. So based on the question you asked, I I like um I like seeking for help. Even not only on Wicked Cares, even
Yeah.
online,
Yeah.
on try to seek for help
Yeah.
before I can do it. Because as a mother, you can't do it on your own. You
Mm-hmm.
can't do it. So
It takes
what
a village to raise a child. You know that line.
exactly
Yeah.
one thing I just noticed and that made me to fall in love with that group is that whenever you ask a question, no matter what, answer will be given
Yeah.
without being biased. Without being
Mm.
biased. Times I invited so many people to that group
Yeah.
based on my experience with that group.
Yeah.
So I invited so many people there. So at times I'm a tired person. So at
Mm.
times if I want to ask question, I prefer private chatting the admin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it got to a time, and even at that, solution they always provide solution for me.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but later when they asked me to send the message on the main group, I sent the message there. So many people who messaged me, why can't you do it this way? Why can't you do this way? I said no. I know what I'm doing. Let me ask from professionals. Professionals are there to help us out, and
Yeah.
they help the one.
Yeah.
So it's really helped me to develop strength. So mom's guilt is not a weakness. It's a
Yeah.
sign of
Yeah.
strength. It
Yeah.
has been helped. So I was even surprised when I was called on to come and I was happy anyway when I was
Oh,
invited. I was like, let me, although I don't know what to say, this is my first time, but I'll still try my best.
nice. I mean, I'm just gonna ask you a question, but obviously, let me just kind of add to what you've said because I love the things that you've said. Um, so we're a peer support community, and the reason for peer support community is coming together to share challenges so people can learn from it. I have learned so much from the community. I've learned so much from people's experiences. I've learned so much from people responding. I've learned so much myself. So I cannot underestimate the power of that community. It has exposed me to people's challenges. It has exposed me to even obviously I am a practitioner. Obviously, I do have the experience, but there are certain levels that I have not experienced. I've not had those experience. People share things and like, oh my god, is that a thing? And then it makes you, it kind of spur you up to want to go and learn. So that's the power of being a part of the community. So when people private chat and say, oh, they want to get private answer, please take the question back to the group because we want everybody to learn from it. And for me, if someone private chat me, I really like it when you private chat me, but I'll appreciate you and say, oh, look, let's let other people learn because someone might be going through that challenge. And for example, sometimes somebody asks the same question that another person asked. I will now refer them back to a response that we gave while still answering the one tailored for them, but also giving them, I mean, there's nothing like too much knowledge. So if we are able to give you knowledge based on your current experience and refer you to other resources that you can use to make it better, fantastic. So I think it's really amazing that you didn't just find help, but you also found a way to bring people in and you were able to deal with, whatever mom guilt that was coming and you saw it as a strength. I think that's amazing. So now I think I'm really inspired by what you have said because as an African mom, as an average African mom, I like to believe that you're still in your 20s. So let's say maybe you are Gen Z. So yes, maybe yeah, you could now understand that, oh look, the times have changed, so you must ask for help. But I I like to think that maybe you are not Gen Z. So I wanted to understand what really inspired you to ask for help, like to start asking for help. What was your, because you said something like, oh, you always like to ask for help. You always, or you're always, whether in the community or you're always searching to know about help and all of that. But before you answer that question, I also wanted to commend you for seeking to come on here, to
Okay.
share your story, because one of the things about peer support communities is that you cannot be a part of a peer support community without inspiring other people, without adding your bit. Someone will watch this today and probably know that, oh look, if I'm taking my child to a daycare and going to work, I'm not really doing anything bad because Olabisi came online and shared her own story. And that's the power of conversations like this. And so I just wanted to commend you on that. But to answer, I need you to answer the question: what inspired you to, start seeking for help?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Although I'm in my middle 30s, I'm not in my 20s.
No way! No way, you don't look it. No way. Amazing. Oh, that's nice. That's
So
very nice. Young and looking it. Nice. God
thank
now.
you. Thank you. So the thing is, number one, mhm, why I was waiting, because there was a waiting period.
Was
Although I'm
there?
in love,
How
exactly.
long did you wait for, if you don't mind me asking? Because I am in my waiting period too. I like to know. Let me see if you're going to share something very, very inspirational. Let me know that, oh, as I'm waiting, I'm not waiting in vain. I know already, but obviously, share what you've got to share with me. Come on.
Anyway, people call it waiting, but to me, I believe it's God's time.
Yeah.
Because just say maybe 2 years, but
Yeah.
some people say 2 years. Is 2 years anything?
2 years is
But
long, oh. Ah.
some I think
Don't
it's
go there. 2 years is long.
so, and I pray God
Trying
will
for
answer
two
all.
years consistently and pregnancy not happening. And I know what it means. Don't even go there. I know what it means. Trust me. Mhm.
Yeah, I started joining groups of waiting mothers just to seek for information, counseling, like that. From there, I promoted to um, expectant mother. So I
Yeah.
joined a group just to get information. When you get information from left and right, from professionals, from families, you gather everything together, and then you sieve.
Yes. You see, I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And again, I've once worked in a health organization. Although I was
Mm.
not a nurse, but an health worker then.
Yeah.
So who encourage moms how to take care of their children,
Mm.
especially for immunization. You don't give them drugs before they come. They tell them the reason behind it. So from there, then I have it in my mind that before I do anything, I will have to seek for information because number one, it leads to personal growth and development.
Yeah.
Because asking for help is not a weakness, as I have said, it's a sign
Yeah.
of what? Strength.
Yeah.
So it builds relationship. It builds
Yeah.
relationship
Yeah.
among families, amongst professionals. And another thing is recognizing my limitation. I recognize my limitation. I know that I can I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
You know your power stop. Yeah.
I
I think
believe
that's powerful.
it's fine to ask for assistance. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
once you are stressed, there's nothing you can do. You need to seek for help,
Mm-hmm.
especially from professionals. As I have
Yeah.
said, from
Yeah.
professionals. So that
Yeah.
you don't go, you don't go.
Because there's so
And
many
God
misconceptions out there. Yeah.
and God has been helping me. Despite the fact that I have families that are into healthline, after asking for information, I will still seek outsiders. And that's the reason why I was able to join this group. Mhm.
Amazing.
Not good to
Amazing.
be keeping your mouth shut. You need to seek for help.
Yeah.
So God has been helping me. Thank
Thank
God
you so much.
person for you to bring me out like this.
Let me see. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of the mother that you are. I'm so proud that you are like that you are part of this thing that we're doing. I'm so proud. And
Thank
I'm
you, ma.
so blessed to share your story and sharing your journey and all of those. Before I go ahead, I just wanted to recognize Amaka. Amaka said, "Well done, ma. What an inspiring session." Amaka, thank you for joining in. I hope you watched to the end, and we are so glad. Myself and Olabisi are so glad that you have joined in, and we're having an integrating and what's the word? An exceptional. Let me not go too far, please. Let me not go and spoil the whole thing. An exceptional conversation. I'm enjoying this conversation, and I mean, I'm so grateful that things always inspire us to. Obviously, when somebody said, "Oh, what inspired you to do this?" Me, I'll say, "Oh, it was when I discovered I was racist negative." That was the beginning part of why I started what I started. And so for you, it was because there was a waiting time, and that waiting time led you to want to find more knowledge, and eventually you understood. It lingered into your pregnancy, and obviously you became an expectant mom, and then now you are now a mother. So now that led you to, you know, understanding the power of seeking for help and all. I'm just going to move on to ask a very integral question. This question is very important, and I want you to think about it before you answer it. So, what has been your biggest challenge when it comes to balancing your needs with the expectations of motherhood? You know what I mean, right? Say you are a career woman and you have like your own personal needs, but obviously you are a mother, and then your child has a lot of needs too. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
uh
Yes.
So, how have you been able to balance your needs and your child's needs? I would really like to hear that. I'm gonna share something very important when you finish responding.
Anyway, um,
Same.
I don't even know where to start.
Just
Other
start anyway. But have you been able to balance your needs and that of your baby? Do you think you've been able to do that? How old is your
mm,
baby now?
I'm trying my best. It's just a year, 7 months.
Yeah, that's a toddler. That's a toddler. I don't envy you.
It has not been easy, but I bless God. Because at times you are going to work the following day. And
Mm,
this baby will wake you midnight. You want to eat, you want to do this, you want to do that. And you don't have choice. You have at times, I do feel somehow, but later I will just remember when I was asking God to give me the child. I was sleeping and praying and doing everything. And God has given me this child. I will stand up and answer him.
yeah.
Stand up and answer him that God will keep strengthening me. And at times I'm not even sleep. I will try and take care of him so that I can take him to crèche as usual. Then I'll go to my work. It has not been easy, but
Yeah.
self, let me just say self-sacrifice and for
Yeah.
self-care. I'm
Yeah.
just trying. So and God has been helping me. Then lack of support system. Lack of
Lots of
support
what?
system. I said lack of support system at times. But
Oh
to God
yeah.
be I've been getting support from families, from partners, from friends. I've
Yeah.
been getting has been helping me. If there is no one to support me, there is no one that can balance the two together. But
Yeah.
on my own part, I'm trying to sacrifice myself for the baby in order to balance it. I don't know if
Yeah.
I've answered the question, but you can help me out as well.
No, you've answered. You've answered. But just so I add to what you said, I just wanted to. Emmanuel has joined in, and he just said, I think he joined in from our fatherhood support community. Thank you, Emmanuel, for joining. He just said this is inspiring. Kudos, Olabisi, for sharing your experience. Keep it up, guys. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. But let me just share with you what I think is the best response you've given. I mean, you've been able to balance it by asking for help and support, and in balancing your expectations of motherhood and your current reality, obviously with your own self-care and things that you've got to do, and what the needs of your child is, and what your own needs are. In balancing it, you always have to ask for support. You always have to ask for help, and you always have to trust delegated helps that you've asked for. There's nothing you have to do. You have to trust it. That is why I tell people that anybody who has a mother or father who is still alive, that can help them during pregnancy. They don't know what God has done what God has done for them, because this age you cannot parent without the support of grandparents. Almost send your children there. Well, send them there. Send them there without guilt, because they're the ones that even Kukuma will be disturbing you that they want grandchildren. I want grandchildren. It's time to take care of the grandchildren. Now you Kukuma say, that you want grandchildren. It's time for you to come and be part of it. It's not by mouth that we are nan. You must be nan with your full chest, that kind of a thing. So I think for mothers to be able to balance that expectation and balance it with their needs, I think it has to do with the mind first. And we had established that in our conversation at the beginning, right? Because you must determine what success will mean for you as a mother. That mom guilt of, I cannot send my children to the crèche, I cannot do this. If sending your children to the crèche at the time is going to help you live your dreams, because your child, you don't want to grow up and then start being resentful towards your child that you were not able to fulfill your dreams. Now you also have to be able to try to strike the balance, not to do it out of pressure. That is why times and seasons are so important. So if you're in a season of your life where you say, look, this season of my life, this 5 years of my life is for me to look after my child and raise my child, because I want my child to experience me. I want to give my child my entire self. And you are doing that based on your decision, not because you had another person do it. I mean, you probably had your reasons for wanting to do it, and you probably have financial and other form of support. You don't really have a reason why you shouldn't give your time to your child. I mean, everybody's experiences are different. And if you're able to do that as a mother, fantastic. Also, even when you are not even able to do that, say you are somebody who you have all the support, you have all the money, but still you're somebody who want to live your dreams. You have a dream of maybe you know running a charity. You have a dream of maybe going to educate people or even doing your job and earning. You just want to keep earning a living. You don't even want to be at anybody's mercy. You just like that idea. I mean, as a mother, still being able to be true to yourself is something that you should never be guilty of, whether you have a child or not. You can strike that balance by saying, look, this time is for me, my self-care time and everything, and not feel guilty about it, because it will be difficult. Just go to that time that you say, okay, this time is for me. This time I'm going to go and take a cup of coffee. I'm going to chill out with my friends, and I'm just going to send this person to this place. Let them also wait there first. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you've not provided support for them at that 1 hour or 2 hours that you want to hang out with your friends, or you want to go out and have your self-care, or get yourself a massage, or go swimming, or just do what you love. It doesn't mean that you don't love your child, but obviously intentionally, putting yourself, because your child will see that if you don't provide those times when you receive support and you receive self-care, or do things that please you or make you happy, or do things that make you productive, because mental health is such a big deal. If you're not doing things that make you happy, it's going to translate to feeling frustrated, and that frustration will fall on your child because you start being miserable, and your child will now pick. What your child will remember is that my mother was always miserable. That's what they'll
Mhm.
remember. But if you have been able to do and find things that give you joy, you come back home, you're already so excited, because you can't give what you don't have. You've refilled yourself as a mother. You have enjoyed your time of doing things that make you feel productive, that make you feel, a sense of wellness. So when you're coming home, you're coming from a place of health. So you're able to give back. You can't give what you don't have. You cannot give happiness when you don't have happiness. You cannot give peace when you don't have peace. You cannot give a sense of tranquility when you don't have it inside of you. That is why you must always put you first. You must define for yourself. I mean, when we talk about putting you first, we're not saying be selfish, but obviously you
Mhm.
must be able to, is when you have felt good enough that you can now give out. That is how I experience it. And it's like that for every human being. You cannot you cannot say, oh, I want to give somebody 1,000 naira, and it's only that 1,000 naira that is in your account, unless you want to do a leap of faith that God has said, oh, give somebody 1,000 naira and watch me do something. That one is a different ballgame. But say you are in need of mental or emotional connection, or emotional refill, and you've not been refilled, you feel frustrated, and your child will feel it. So it's always important to create time for yourself and also create time for your child. So your me time is as important as your child's time. You marry them together, and
The
there's
balance.
a sense of peace, there's a sense of less anxiety. No, this thing seems like, oh, we're talking, things that might not be very visible, but intentionally doing it. I have a friend who, she gave birth in 2023 November. So she gave birth, and everything became so overwhelming. She's a doctor and she couldn't work and all of those. Obviously, she's in the UK, and giving birth in the UK is a different ballgame entirely. It's kind of demanding because you don't even have the right support system. Your family is not there and all. But one of the things that she did, she unapologetically always went out every other Tuesday by herself. Or I think one of those weekdays, she will leave her child with her husband. Go and meet your father. It's not only me. That kind of stuff, you know. And she will go and chill, just have a drink and come back home, just 30 minutes or 1 hour. You know, feel refreshed, feel breathe a sense of fresh air. Do you get? I mean, you can have communication with your partner to know when that's that when that you time is also required, and not just about having that conversation with your partner. Sometimes it can be that you and your partner have to do that together. So you might find a way to please the child somewhere and say, look, let me go and spend time with my husband, or go and spend time with my partner, or spend time with the person that obviously if you have a good relationship with the father of the child and all of that. So what am I trying to say? it's so integral in your parenting experience. So yeah, I'm just going to move on and ask you two more questions, and then we'll wrap up. Um, I know you've said a lot of things about um how it's not been easy, but we just wanted to know, how has being a part of the support community helped you navigate the challenges of motherhood? How has being a part of the support community, how has it helped you navigate the challenging experience of motherhood? Because obviously, like you said repeatedly, that it's not been easy, but you've persevered through it all and all. So I just wanted you to share with us how being a part of the support community has helped you navigate that journey.
Mm, they have helped me to reduce stress and anxiety.
Say
One,
that again, please.
I said they have helped me to reduce stress and anxiety. Another
Amazing.
thing, it increased confidence.
Yeah,
My can ask question anywhere, anytime.
yeah,
And thing
yeah.
is, it when we talk about better parenting, this community have really helped me because
Amazing.
people asking questions and they respond. In fact, they give better response. And at times they will tell them that although you can still go to clinic to confirm this, to confirm that, but at least that first information is still there. So positive role models. So when I see people, I try to copy them that let me to try this. And at times I do read their write-up or some all those things they used to send on the platform. It might not indicate, but I will go through it. It might not be that day. I will
Yeah.
go through every even when they talk about this book, winning process of
Oh,
winning my
that's
baby.
winning guide. Yeah, yeah,
I was not the one that requested for it. Someone requested for it. And I
yeah,
just private something like that. And even at that time, self, I'm not ready to win my baby. I just want to know. Knowledge is very, very important.
yeah,
Very, very important. And at the same time, I used to pray. Now, when it is time for me to win, come with ease.
yeah,
And he helped me. That was why I was sharing my testimony on that um, platform. That I didn't even use anything, but I tried to follow all the instructions. And it really worked for me. I did not
amazing,
take- And it really worked for me. So
amazing,
that knowledge is second to none on that
amazing.
community. Second to none. So they improved me. In, in, in fact, it improved my relationship as well to people.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, can we give you like a round of applause? These things that you've shared, you have no idea. I mean, Mojisola, I think you guys should be proud of yourselves. Mojisola and Ibinabo, you guys' commitment is top notch. Like, look at the amazing thing Olabisi is sharing. Coming out every day and posting, and it looks like, oh, nobody's seen. But more, look at what Olabisi is sharing with us today. It's powerful. And sometimes that's why it's important for us to always track what we do, because sometimes it feels like you're not doing anything. But I didn't even remember that we have a winning guide. Obviously, I know that we have a winning guide, but I'm having to call. I didn't remember, and I did remember somebody asked for it. But now that you say, I remember that. Oh yeah, there was a time somebody asked, and so many other moms asked for it, and some of them even bought, some of them even asked for it privately, and I sent to them, and all of that. Truthfully, sometimes we don't remember the impact of the work that we are doing. That's why it's important to track. That's why it's important to document, evaluate, because you might not, and obviously do KPIs to understand where the impact is from and all. And things like this are important because it helps us see that our work is, important. Thank you very much for sharing that.
You're
And
welcome.
I also wanted to add to the point where you mentioned a lot of things that you leverage on other people's information. That is the importance of peer support community, and that's why when somebody come to my DM and I'll be doing like Nicodemus, I'll be like, "Come back to the group, go back to the group," because I want other people to learn. I have learned, and I can't imagine me alone giving you information and other people will not be. I want to be able to track the information because that group will always be there years after, 50 years from now. That group will always be there. I might be dead and gone, that group will always be there. that's one thing I want to keep, because I want people to always be able to refer back to that community to get help. And that's why every information that is shared on that community, I remember them. So when somebody asks a question that is similar to it, I quickly would just go and search. I'll just go and search. It would take me there, and I'll just pin, like, or maybe refer the person to that message or copy it and paste it again. So that is the reason why when people come to my DM, I'm like, please, please, please don't come to my DM. Just go and ask the question on the group, because I want to always track the responses that we are giving, especially if they are real and they are applicable to your situation. It's great to give you a response tailored to you, but also use people's ideas to learn, that kind of a thing. And I'm amazed by this response that you've given. Thank you very much for that
You're
response.
welcome.
Um, I don't want to go. This conversation is very sweet. I I don't want to go. Should we go like this, or we should just continue talking plenty? I think it's been a wonderful night. Mojisola, what do you think? I think it's been encouraging. What do you think, Moji? Are you there?
I don't know why people are saying they are not connecting. They couldn't connect.
Oh, Mojisola, why are people not connect? Why are your people
Yes,
not?
can you hear me?
We can hear
I
you.
think
Yeah.
network issue. Some are saying they couldn't connect. Maybe they will watch the replay.
Oh, I think they will be able to watch the replay. So what will happen is when we save it, people can now rewatch it later.
Yeah, yeah, the replays will be made available.
Yeah, so just copy it and paste it. What do you think? How has this conversation been so far? I think it's been
Um,
packing.
yeah,
Like I said,
it's been very engaging.
I love it.
And I think I like our perspective, sharing the like how the journey can actually be for a mother, and
Yeah,
then the importance of actually leaning on the community, both the communities that are within close proximity, and then
yeah,
the communities like our support group that exists that mothers can be on. And then I like the reference to the fact that every time help is requested for, there are multiple people, and within the communities, even mothers that will share their experiences and say, yes, I've gone through this, be calm, do this, do this, do that.
yeah,
Just even showing support to like the fellow mothers. So
yeah,
even beyond the professionals within the group, the mothers are one of the also biggest supporters that we have within the community. And I like that she referenced to that.
yeah. I mean, this is amazing. My heart is filled up with joy. So, anyways, every good thing always comes to an end, right? So this has been an important conversation. And for me, Moji knows me. If you give me time, I'll sit down here and talk from morning till night. When it has to do with this conversation, you don't have to pay me. Just call me and I'll talk like this from morning till night, because this conversation gladdened my heart. Apart from that, it's a calling, and apart from it also being a calling, it's also a conviction that, look, if we can even have more conversations like this, people can be enlightened to do differently in their journey of parenting, in their journey of motherhood, and we might just be able to have a better society of less social vices. I mean, that's why I'm committed to this, and I love it so much. So what would be your advice to mothers, Olabisi? What would be your advice? um Let me just rephrase that question so that I ask it very well. um say mothers are isolated, or they're afraid to reach out for support. What would be your advice to them? Say a mother is just in their space and wondering, I beg bikonu, what can they even do for me? Can they even help me? Mm, is it not better I just keep to myself? Because sometimes it's not like they're even saying this. Some people are good at keeping to themselves just because
Exactly.
maybe someone has hurt them in the past. So they just feel like that is why one of the things we do in support community, that if you have noticed, we always put it out there, especially when new people come out, that nobody's better than anybody. Everybody in the community are all the same, and mutual respect is very important in that community. So you cannot talk over anybody, or you cannot talk down on anybody, because if you come first, we will ask you, we'll give you help according to how you came, not doing preferential treatment and all of those, so that there can be a little bit of a sense of fairness in what we are doing, so that anybody who has experienced hurt from outside will not come there and still receive hurt. Anybody, in short, I think we should be proud of ourselves, Mojisola. I'm so proud of our communities, because we have two communities. This community that you know about is our second community. It's our
Okay.
second. We have a community that has been in existence since COVID. That one was our first community. And these two communities, I am so proud of. And I think my team should be proud too, that at least for the last 5 years now, we've done peer support communities and all. We've been able to run this community successfully with less drama. And so much for the things that people say, oh, women are so filled up with drama. We've run this community with less drama. The dramas that I'm serious, because a lot of communities that you see women, you see a lot of drama, you see a lot of fighting, batching themselves, or maybe just feeling more important than. So look, we already set the ground rules. Look, this place is a no judgment zone. You must watch the tone that you are coming in with. Respect is so top notch. If you ever post what is not in line with what we are doing here, we are going to remove it. We just set those ground rules. And I think it's great that we did all of those things, because when I look back, I see that even the one that is older than the current one is the same. There's a lot of respect. Everyone shares the same mindset. Everyone is always seeking to support everyone. When somebody comes up with a question, everybody's always to respond in a kind way, in a loving way. And I think it's so good that we should remember that and give kudos to ourselves for being able to pull that kind of quick through, because I mean, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Someone dropped a comment. I'm gonna put that up. Okay, so um, what would be your advice to mothers? Obviously, I diverted a bit.
That's
What would be, someone is saying, before you answer that question, let me read. Good one. Kindly let it be on a continual mode, please. Oh yeah, so we should keep coming to share this. Don't worry, we will share as long as Olabisi will come and talk. The way she talks is really nice. She's cool, but obviously passing her point. I really love what you're doing. Seriously, continue, continue, continue. Akinola, thank you very much. We see you. We need you to come here too and come and share your own experience too with us. God bless you all. God bless you for joining too. Thank you. So go ahead. The floor is yours, Olabisi. Share with us what you
Thank you.
think more. What's
Thank
your
you.
advice to mothers? Yeah.
So I will share my advice based on my own experience.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, Number one, to all mothers, they should know that they are not alone.
Yeah.
They are part of their community.
Yeah.
So they should
Yeah.
not hesitate. They are not alone. Another thing is they should reach out to someone they trust. At least they
Yeah.
should start with a friend, a
Yeah.
trusted friend, can start with that. To trusted family members or
Yeah.
partners. Share
Yeah.
their feelings, concern with them.
Mm.
Another thing, join a support group
Yeah.
like this group,
Yeah.
this wonderful group I'm proud of.
Yeah.
So they just for them to get more information. They can they can join group. There is one we call it mom squad. Any group that they know that they will get knowledge, it helps a lot. They should try and join. Another thing is they should be kind to them. You have said it as well.
Mm.
It be kind to them. They should seek professional help
Professional help.
because in case the feeling of being isolated or fear still persists,
Mm.
they should seek professional help because it deals with mental something. So
Yeah.
they should seek professional help. And by doing this, they will see a better result. Because as I have said earlier, even before I when I before I before I during my IT, I did not go for any IT. I had a as a coach. I work in that place. Some people will come and drop 2 months old babies, 2 months old babies, like that. And we took care of them very well, just like our own children.
Mm.
So they trusted place, as you have said earlier, to drop their children if they don't have any choice, and with them seeking for help and prayers.
Mm.
So
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I mean, we've had such a wonderful conversation. I don't want this video or this recording to reach 1 hour because the replay will be too long. I want people to be able to, stay engaged and watch to the end. These days, people have a short, attention span and all. But I've thoroughly enjoyed having this conversation. Coming back from a very long day, I'm not even tired. Maybe it's because I'm not going anywhere tomorrow like that. So, but obviously, I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I wanted to say thank you. And I just wanted to add, generally to what you've said that the importance of asking for help cannot be overemphasized. And there's one thing that we always say is, you're not alone. Don't be alone. There's help available. Always ask for help. Always ask questions when you're not sure. When you're not sure, always ask questions. I know that the world that we are in, I've trolled people for asking too many questions, or I've looked down on people and make it look as if though they're asking questions too much. But there's nothing ever wrong. I mean, the Bible says in the multiple of counsel there is safety. So no matter how much you think that, and no matter how much you think that you know it, you can never ever ever know it all. And it's important
exactly.
to join support communities, ask for help, ask questions, and like you said, ask from professionals or even experience. Sometimes experience can give you the knowledge that you never really had. And that's what I have experienced. I've dealt with a lot of mothers, I've dealt with countless mothers, and the things I hear have given me the experience and the wealth of knowledge to always, it gives me the wealth of knowledge to answer a lot of questions that come in with ease. Like, okay, I think I've heard that before. It's easy. And truthfully, it's replicable. So when you say the same thing to this mother and they go and they, my work, so thank you very much. I'm like, oh, it's worked. And we know it always works. That kind of stuff. So it's important to always be in a group of people. Follow who know road. That's how that's what I want to say. It. Follow who know road. Follow who has an idea. And even if they don't know road, they know the importance of signposting you to proper help. Because I'm someone that if like you said, if the thing big past my power, I want to signpost you to receive help. And that's Montisola, please remind me. That's true. I need to do this. Remind me to signpost the lady whose daughter suffered sudden infant death. I need to signpost her for care. I just remember. Can you remind me tomorrow, please? So thank you very much for joining in and giving us your time and sharing your incredible story with us. I think that would come to the end of our conversation. If anyone has any question, we're happy to take that question right now. Mojisola, you've got the floor to kind of wrap up this session for us. Thank you so much, Olabisi. God bless you.
Amen. I'm so grateful to that privilege. Thank you so much.
You. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, Mrs. Olabisi. Thank you for sharing your whole experience with us. Thank you for being very true to what the journey of motherhood can look like. Thank you for all our watch party and live supporters and those that would also be rewatching the live.
Mm.
Um, we hope that you've had a very insightful session. We believe that if you have questions, you can drop your questions now. Or if you think that even while you're watching the replay, you would have questions, you can reach out to us via any of our social media platform at MIKED. You can even reach out to us to join our support community. And now you've even heard it from Mrs. Olabisi. Tell a friend to tell a friend. She told you, she has told all her friends to join this community because she sees the impact and the help that the community provides. So if you are part of the community but you are here to tell a friend, this is your nudge from Mrs. Olabisi to tell a friend and give them posts Christmas gifts. It's not too late. It's still Boxing Day, and then they'll really appreciate it. So thank you, Mrs. Olabisi, once again. Thank you, Mrs. Edidiong,
Oh,
for taking us through a wonderful and insightful, continuous conversation that we want to have, and we hope to be able to have many more lives like this. And to all our supporters that are giving their comments, you never know, we'll just cite you and invite you up for our next live event. Yes. um, Again, please reach out to us via any of our social media platforms. We have our wonderful communities, books, and even our day-to-day posts that we make available, sharing all tips on motherhood, mental health support, and things that are even pertaining to our parent and to our fathers. We do not leave them out in these our wonderful communities. So if you we also have the fatherhood community and the motherhood community for those that would love to join. With that, we'll call it an evening. Thank you once again to everyone that's joined. Um, except Miss Eddie Young has anything to add, I'll just say thank you and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Sorry, I was muted and I was listening. Thank you very much, Mojisola. I don't have any other thing to say. And I was hoping we'd take questions, but I don't think anyone has any question. Um, thank you so much, Akinola. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Say, okay, ma, God bless and increase your wealth of knowledge and all who has joined in. Thank you, everyone. I'm so honored to have you guys join us in today. Thank you, Mojisola, for planning this. Thank you, Olabisi, for coming through. Please don't ever stop sharing your wealth of knowledge and being a source of support to other mothers around you. And let's make more impact in the coming year. Have an amazing evening, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
then we can call it a day now. Good night.
Good night.
bye.
Bye.
Mm,
Thank you.
right.